Hello everybody, I'm just going to show what my everyday carry, my EDC is for an HVAC technician. I've been in the field for well over a decade, been on my own for about the last 8-9 years. I do mostly commercial work, but I'll just show you what I carry around every day in my pockets. Start with the most obvious. This is a 5/16 and 1/4 inch nut driver. So it's made by Klein Tools, and how it works is the 5/16, you got this little screw peg, and that sets it up to 5/16 so it doesn't get pushed down. You loosen the screw peg and it slides down, and now it's a 1/4 inch. On the other side, you have your basic Phillips and flathead drivers. And then on the other side, which this is the reason I got this specifically, you have a Schrader valve core remover. You can see that right there on that side, and then a communication flathead on that side. I don't use the communication flatheads. I mean, I have, but that's not really what I ever use for that stuff. I've got my own dedicated one, which we'll see in a minute. I used to not like multi-tools, but tool bags are pretty heavy to be lugging up on a roof every time to get real specific tools. So I like having these with me just because I have them on me. On that same vein, in my left pocket as well, I carry a pair of full-size linemen's. I found these very useful. I like the ones with the notch cut into the wire strippers, just because it gives you a little bit of flexibility. I use these honestly every day along with the other tool. I have a drill that I carry with me up on roofs and an electrical meter, but obviously those don't fit in my pockets, so we'll be going over those. I also carry a tape measure. This is a 5-foot Wizard, real small tape measure. I mean, it sits in the palm of my hand. I carry that in my pocket. I'm not usually measuring things that are like 20-30 feet long. Most of the time this is just, I need to see how long an opening is, and usually door openings are anywhere between 24 and 48 inches, somewhere usually typically 33, but that's just, I can get close measurements on that. And then to finish out my left pocket, I have my electrical tape. Extremely useful. I think everybody should have electrical tape on them every job they go to. I use it both at work, at home, in a pinch. It makes a decent band-aid if you've got cardboard, paper, or a napkin. So I think this is pretty much a must-have for everyday carry at work, or doing DIY stuff. Moving on to my right pocket, that's where I usually keep my writing utensils. So I've got my just a basic pen. It doesn't really matter to me. I like the G2s. I've been trying out this Sharpie. I don't love it. This is actually the Uniball, but I don't love the Sharpie or the Uniball as much as I do the G2s. I think they write a little bit better, even when they get dirty. And then just a Sharpie of some sort, actual dedicated permanent marker Sharpie, not just a pen Sharpie. And then sitting around in there is a dedicated controls screwdriver. So you've got your small Phillips, slightly larger flathead, and on the other side is a different sized flathead and Phillips. I don't know if you can really see that, but they do twist in the head over time, and so eventually you've got to replace them, but they're like $6, and for what they do, they're a great tool. Deeper in my pocket, and I get to a little bit less, I've got a flashlight. This is Nebo. It's a real small one. It's about 500 lumens, and it's rechargeable with USB-C. So you can see here, little USB-C port. I refuse to buy changeable battery flashlights. They just, sometimes I'm in an attic or a crawl space for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. I'll go through 2 sets of batteries. I'd rather just have a couple of flashlights. I've got an extra one on a hat, and I carry a few more in my truck. If I need them, I'll go get them and have them on me. I also carry this. It's a 10mm ratcheting socket. This is extremely useful with some blower motor compartments. And then I've got a 1/2 inch as well. This one's not ratcheting. I don't know the exact reason why I started carrying the non-ratcheting one. I think it's just the size profile on it, but it comes in extremely handy for what I'm doing with condenser fan motors, especially. Typically those are going to be your two sizes. Sometimes you have 7/16 and sometimes you have 9/16 that you also have to have, but usually it's 1/2 inch or 10mm on these. Inside the pouch, I have kind of a assortment of tools that I have found useful. Let's see if I can get them all out. There we go. And I dropped one. There we go. That's part of life on that. This is just a socket set. This is specifically the only one I need to carry that I found socket-wise on a regular basis. 10mm. Once again, that's mostly for condenser fan motors, and you've got your adapter here for it. So, and then these are just different sized standard and metric drill bits. They work. I think the largest I have is 7/16. I wish I would have a 1/2 inch. That's actually probably what I'm going to get next in this size, is a 1/2 inch bit. And then this is a electrician's ratcheting driver. It has, this side is 1/4 inch, this side is 5/16. It is reversible, which is very nice. And it's electrician's because this has a hole. I don't really understand fully. I don't know. Apparently you can run something through the center of it. I saw it in an advertisement once for it, but I've never used it. I like it because it's compact, it's small. I mean, it fits in the palm of my hands, fits in there. Got a few more bits. Just honestly, this little bag, I can do 90% of my jobs that involve a condenser fan motor or a blower motor using pretty much what's in this pouch. Like I said, I do carry a drill up on a roof with me, but that's just to take bolts on and off faster. If push came to shove, I could do the entire job with just these hand tools that I have in my pocket. That's pretty much it for the tools. I carry a neck knife. This is a small knife. It's probably the smallest knife I've ever carried. Real tiny. It's a minimalist. I like it a lot. It's a CRKT. I started carrying it because I have a bad habit of breaking knives. The units I work on, they've got little locks on them that are like flathead drivers, and I have a bad habit of pulling the knife out of the side of my pocket because it's in a clip and using that to turn it and then pop it open. And I've snapped more blades than I care to admit, and I figured a neck knife, it'd be easier for me to reach, pull this out, flip it around. Usually it's already set like this, and just use this, my driver, instead of using a knife, and which I have found. So I have yet to lose it. Doesn't fall out of a pocket clip because it's attached, and I've yet to snap the blade. The only thing I don't like is if I'm carrying something heavy and I have to carry it close to my chest. Sometimes, if it's pressed up against your chest, it'll come loose. I have had that happen twice. Makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not sure about that. I might find a different solution for a neck knife on that. But, and then in a tiny pocket on my leg, I carry these two small fuses because they're just so small, and I replace them fairly frequently. Usually I've got more wing nuts for electrical stuff, and then this is just a piece of copper thermostat wire that I cut a section of. Got the lead snipped off. And you can just tap them together on your R to Y or R to W, R to G, fire up your heater, your air conditioner, your blower motor pretty easily. I don't know, having jumper wires. Sometimes I carry alligator clips, sometimes I carry the magnetic clips. Recently, doing the last couple jobs I've been doing, These have actually been more useful. So it depends on what I've got. These change out pretty frequently. Like I said, sometimes I carry the magnetic ones or the alligator clips, which I think are pretty useful on that. But that's just basic what I carry on my EDC. I have to say most useful are the tools I carry in my left pocket. Honestly, this with an electrical meter, you can do any job 90% of the time. I enjoy carrying these tools with me pretty much every day. Appreciate it.